People accused me of raping, molesting, and murdering Natalie Bollinger because they claimed that I had stalked her and that I had threatened her family. I had not. I had not stalked her or threatened her family. Not until December. I have a email that I sent Natalie in June or July of 2017, letting her know that I was going to retaliate. I had already decided by then. See, this is what spurred me to do that. Tim Beeson. I'd already been threatened and assaulted enough in real life. And then I got these threats on the internet from other fucking wingnuts. One of those, I looked it up, and it was a church lady's name in Virginia. So I was like, that must be Natalie. I was wrong. It ended up being some spam site that just sends out hate mail. You send them who you hate, and they start sending out the mail. And it was a pretty fucked up situation. I mean, if you took a look at all of it, you'd understand exactly why I'm the way that I am. Take autism completely out of it. Is this stuff okay to do to somebody who's not autistic? How do non-autistic people respond to situations like this? Well, I'll tell you from personal experience, most people are a lot meaner than me, and they're a lot more violent. People threatened to kill me for stalking people that I did not stalk. They used things that they asked me to do in Virginia to pretend I was stalking them. Yeah, understandably. You see how Shannon Alvarado reacted to being outed as an alcoholic. Of course Natalie reacted that way. Of course Alicia reacted that way. Of course, I'd already tried going to the police. I'd already tried going to my friends, people like Pierre, people like Ryan. If you guys paid much attention to these stories, you know their last names, you know where to find them. You go talk to them, ask them for an interview. Of course, both of them are pissed off at me and not too happy. I wouldn't expect them to be on my side either. I threw everybody's name out there, and I am not ashamed of that. They should be ashamed of themselves. Every one of these people. There's a lot of stuff that I've had to do that's shameful. But I recognize that I had to. If a man has a choice between stealing a piece of bread or watching his kids starve to death, I'm not going to hate him for stealing a loaf of bread, are you? Teresa still gets to see her loved ones. Lana still gets to see her loved ones. So does Amanda. So does Miss Jerry. So does Alicia. So does Pierre. So does Dee Dee. So does Rachel. So does Veronica. You know, I love all these people. they also should have paid attention. These web sleuths were paying attention. They already assumed my guilt, had tunnel vision for specific stuff that they wanted to take out of context, to pretend. And they were allowed to do that. The police, at every point in time dealing with me, every single police officer broke the law. Every one of them. All of them. By refusing to take my report, every single one of those officers broke the law. I was telling them what was going on. They were ignoring what I was saying and doing their own thing. They just turned off their body cameras whenever they wanted to do something illegal. They can't be allowed to do that. That's tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice. And it needs to be written into law that way. Turning off your body camera is an obstruction of justice. It's a breach of trust with the public. You are a public servant. You just assumed that I was the bad guy and she was the good guy because of looks and gender. Everybody did that. Do I mean literally everybody? No. There are lots of people who I am certain know the truth and just ain't coming forward. There's also a lot of people who have seen the harassment. They don't want that against them. Mandy Hughes, she saw that harassment. She has cited that as her reason for not coming forward about a lot, quite a few times. I have Mandy's story. She's a strong woman. She went through hell. She saw my story and realized, yeah, this guy's been through some shit. He knows what he's talking about. I have Christine's story. I have Kelly's story. I have part of Aaron's story. There's a lot of people who won't come forward because they don't want that coming down on them. They saw how it came down on others. They saw what happened when people spoke up, when people said something. When people pointed out the voice of reason, these people got to name-calling and badgering and being mean and rude and inconsiderate. I give it back. These people were fucking cruel to anybody who was good to me. Anybody who was willing to look into it themselves, instead of just the little bits and pieces that these fucking cronies put up. I tried to show everything, and it got me shut down a lot. I tried to educate you guys on the drug use, the drugs that these girls were using. That got me shut down, 30 days. That's right, I got 30 days Facebook ban for telling y'all parents how to find out if your kids are smoking meth. Imagine that. And with it gone, they got to pretend that that was a threat. Pretend it was a threat. They said I made hundreds of videos. I have. To educate people. And I'm not going to feel bad about that. I used my Facebook in ways that Facebook is not supposed to be used. However, it's not illegal to use it in those ways. I didn't use it to harass people. Not to begin with, anyway. I definitely harass people on the internet now. Those trolls who harassed me for... Well, there's a lot of those trolls who typed a lot at me. A lot of mean shit. I said I would give it back, and I have. Not nearly as much. When people threatened me over things that I didn't do, I threw it all back at the person whose lies started all of it. It'd be Alicia. See, in Boulder, Colorado, it was Maddie Boa in specific, and her meth customers in specific, who are spreading all the other rumors. Alicia wasn't gonna even pretend for a moment that I was stalking her. She wasn't. Not to Maddie. Maddie was gonna go with me. She knew I wasn't stalking anybody to Virginia. She just thought me getting stuck in the road was creepy. Well, fine, it's creepy. That's okay. I already knew that they were going to see it that way. That's why I left. If these people, like Tim Beeson, had left me alone, and Maddie Boa and Maddie's customers, how did this all come about? Well, I got stuck in the fucking road, while dehydrated, and they pretended that I threatened their family because of that. When Alicia Bollinger told Maddie Boa that I threatened her family, every goddamn wingnut in the fucking book came after me. Most of Maddie's customers are long-term customers. They've been twacked out of their fucking mind for years. Meanwhile, you want to believe these fucking tweakers over somebody who's sober. But the fact is, Natalie didn't say that I molested her, or raped her, or stalked her. Alright, the stalking part she did. But that's the thing, is that if Maddie Boa and her little meth head buddies hadn't run around doing the shit that they did, I would have never talked to Natalie again. I'd have left her to her fucking drugs. And Alicia to her drugs. The conversations that I got between myself and Maddie Boa, they proved that I'm telling the truth. They proved that I let them know how I was being treated fucking way last year. When I threatened to expose Tim, when I had that letter last year, or that email, I don't know if I've sent it or not. It might still be sitting there. I don't know. I'll have to look. But I let her know that she needed to call off the dogs, or I was going to retaliate. That was because Tim Beeson was getting a hold of me and threatening me and not keeping his word. I'd have been fine with Tim threatening me if he would have killed me, like he said he was going to. I'd been through so much hell by that point already. And the more I tried to tell people, the more they talked over me, and the worse my panic attack got. Because I knew that if I couldn't get somebody to listen, all the rest of this was going to happen. Guys, tweakers are fucking hitting me over fucking Maddie Boa. Because Maddie Boa spread rumors about shit she wasn't there for. When I threatened to retaliate against Tim and Ted, I was specific. I'm not willing to go out and fucking assault people and threaten people's lives. But you know, after as many people assaulted me and threatened my life, and the police didn't give a fuck, lawyers didn't give a fuck, judges didn't give a fuck, nobody gave a fuck. But I do it back, and they give a fuck, don't they? See, that's the point, is that all the things that these people did to me are illegal. So the cops just refuse to take a look at it. Outright, repeatedly, over and over again. They'd lock me up, take away my bag. I'm in a place where now I have a roof over my head. I could actually sit down and work on this stuff because I'm locked up in a fucking institution or a fucking jail or a nuthatch. But no, when I was in those places, they wouldn't let me have my computer. Everywhere else that I was at, I couldn't function. I just needed a place where I could sit down with that stuff in some peace and quiet and be left the fuck alone. I never got that. People were threatening my life, threatening my friends' lives, my family's lives, threatening and intimidating my friends and family, including the police, doing this. All over rumors started by Maddie Boa because Alicia Bollinger lied and said that I had threatened her family in October of 2016. I hadn't. All of this came from Alicia's mouth in specific. Alicia was the one who lied to Maddie Boa. I didn't stalk anybody, I was invited. When I threatened to retaliate against Tim and Ted, it's because Tim and Ted were doing some fucked up shit. Cops don't give a fuck about that, do they? No, they don't. Officer Jai Rogers got to see the conversation between me and Tim. That's where he got the name. What was the name? The other boyfriend. Not Justin Ward, but, fuck, what's his name? Fuck it, it don't matter. So, I asked him nicely. I was being as nice as I could. You know, I let them know that I was being treated like a child molester over them. And I also let them know that I do love them, I do care about them. I'm not interested in hurting them. I let Tim know that too. By the time Tim Beeson got involved, I'd already been through 6 months of that bullshit. By the time Tim Beeson got involved and was threatening my life, I'd already been assaulted repeatedly. I'd already had my life threatened repeatedly. Candace Bondurant, Jerry Sparks, Jennifer Frericks, Tyler Frericks, Donnie Sparks, Mike Vernon, Lana Engeline, Amanda Engeline. I lost all of these people in my life in 2016 while I was in Virginia. And then there's all the people that died. October of 2016 was fucking devastating. That telephone that I got was the last thing I needed. That's why I say that Natalie was the last straw. Natalie was the only reason I was holding on. I was holding on by a thread. All of these other people had shown me what kind of fucked up people they are and how mean they can be in October of 2016. You know, I didn't try to get a hold of any of those people in all of 2017. Because when I left their lives, they left me alone. Their friends left me alone. No meth heads came after me over Miss Jerry. No meth heads came after me over Lana or Amanda. No meth heads came after me over Donnie or Tyler. Like, really, there was just one dude who was being a fucking dickhead. And he fucking cut that shit off and it was over with. But Natalie and Maddie, their friends wouldn't let up. They wouldn't stop. I got a hold of them because their friends were doing fucked up shit and they fucking knew it. That's the worst part. I wanted to believe that they didn't know what was going on. On my posts from early 2016 about it, I'm trying to deal with all the hell that I'm going through over this. And I'm trying not to fucking let everybody know exactly what it's over, because I already know you say child molester or rapist, people's minds automatically go fucked up places and they never give you a chance again. And I'm typing nice shit about Natalie and to Natalie. Please, you know? I'm trying to let them know that I'm not interested in hurting anybody, and they need to let people know that I'm not hurting anybody. I didn't fucking hurt them. I didn't rape them. I didn't beat them. I didn't put cigarettes out on them. I didn't neglect them. Of course, Natalie sure fucking made me feel like I was neglecting her when I wasn't there on time. I'm tired of the abuse. I'm tired of these people not coming forward and telling the truth. These aren't decent people. If Alicia Bollinger was a decent person, she would have told the truth. If these people would have just left me the fuck alone. I left Virginia. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from those people. Shit, when Natalie went missing, I thought she was still in Virginia. When I got served the protection order, Natalie was claiming that she was going to come see me. That scared the fuck out of me. I thought she was in Virginia. And when I got a protection order instead of Miss Natalie showing up, I was pissed off because every time I'd try to go talk to an officer to get that done, to get a protection order against these people, I got told it was out of their jurisdiction. I was pissed off because she was able to serve me a protection order from fucking Virginia. I didn't even look at the fucking thing. I was so fucking disgusted. I mean, here I am, this woman finally, after a whole year of hell, finally she gives me a light at the end of the tunnel, saying that she wants to meet me to stop all the crazy. And then she has somebody shoot her on the fucking head. After all the hell that she put me through between telling the truth and having somebody shoot her on the fucking head,